I don't know. Anytime it rains, then the network here will just be misbehaving. Okay, so today because we spent so much time, 20 days, but I intended to use not more than 3 hours to teach. So we are still within time. I hope you would finish. Only if you can cooperate. In fact, yesterday I was supposed to re-emphasize that you should all get laptop because today what you are going to do is fully practical based. And you can't use the phone, you have to get the laptop. Okay, I was even supposed to share the slides yesterday. I think while I was working on it, I when I was done, I forgot and slept. This morning, I just woke up and realized I should have shared it for you to at least go through before we start the practicals. But all the same, since it is something new, most of you might not have come across it, except those who have worked in offices or probably you have held certain positions like a secretary, be it a school secretary or a church secretary. I'm sure you would have come across what we call circular letters, right? Who has um, any knowledge on what we mean by circular letters? Circular letters. What do we mean by circular letters? Anyone can try. So we are looking at circular letters today, and
I'm
at the end
saying
of the
that,
day,
yeah. Okay.
I can't hear you.
So they are
Let me.
letters mostly that way they write within an organization to so many people.
Okay.
Others,
Usually letters written from one organization to different respondents, like
different
maybe
yes, please.
different organizations. Okay, that's fine. So by the end of that is ideally that is what we mean by circular letters. But I would have more discussions on that. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain what circular letters are, discuss the advantages of using the circular letters, and describe how to use whatever version you have, fine, but how to use it, whether the Word 2016 or any other version, the mail merge or the mailing step to produce these circular letters, labels, and directories. Okay, letters, labels, envelopes, and directory. We are going to do this four major tasks today. I'll take you through the letters and you use the same approach to do the envelopes, labels, and then the directory. So I'll just be a facilitator while you yourself goes through these processes and then bring your output. So today's lesson, even though I'm not with you physically, I expect you all to take part. Do it as we usually do. When you are done, you give me a thumbs up, and not just the thumbs up, but an evidence of your work. And the evidence will be can only be captured with what? Your phone. So you use your phone to take a screenshot as an evidence and put it on the WhatsApp page for your marks. Okay. So the practical lessons is also we are also going to award marks for the practical lessons. All right. So please bear with me and do exactly that. So first we will talk about circular letters. As you said earlier, it is usually a letter, a particular letter, okay, and that letter contains what? An information. This information is a general information that we want to give out to so many respondents. So a letter, a note, a document, it can be anything. Okay, but ideally we use the word circular letters because it is much more of a letter. But you can still produce this on envelopes. The letter may have, you still do these mailings. You can do it on envelopes. You can do it on labels or packages of certain items. We can also do it as a directory, which we'll discuss subsequently. So a letter, a note, or a document that is addressed to a related group of people. The people are related such that they all need that information. Do you get it? Which mainly focuses on business issues and it is distributed to a large number of people. So ideally, whenever we are working with circular letters, the idea is business related, be it a school. So today's example, we are going to use the school as our business setting. Okay, so we would have one particular letter given to so many schools that we can talk of. Maybe a program which is an upcoming program, a speech and prize giving day, and you want to invite other schools to what attend. There's a conference going on. You want to invite other schools or maybe your business partners to attend. It is one conference, the message is one. But since we want to give each individual person a letter so that the person will see, will have the conviction that, oh, I have been served a letter and therefore I have a duty to take. I have a role to play. Other than that, it would have been a general announcement. Anybody can attend. But if you have been given a letter, that means that you have been recognized. You get it? But it's the same letter given to so many people. So if there are 100 people, the question is, you have 100 people you are looking for whether they partake in whatever activity you are doing. Are you going to type the letter 100 times? No. Since it is the same information, we have a role, a simple way or a simple task to do. And we can use this using the mailings tab, where we can have the mail merge. Some people call it mail merge, but it's actually the mailings tab. That is how we produce our circulars or our circular letters. So the letters used to circulate any message to a large number of audiences simultaneously. That means that within a click, whether sent by email, whether sent manually on a printed A4 sheet, or sent with a soft copy like email, as I said, or any means, you are doing it simultaneously. You're having so many letters delivered to these people simultaneously without any hassle. Do you get it? So circular can also be internal, sent to all staff within a company, and it takes the form of a memo. We discussed memo in our first semester, right? So we said memo is an internal communication, and it does not necessarily mean the confines of the organization. It can be the same organization to the different branches of the same organization. So assuming headquarters, a message from headquarters to send to all branches in a particular district, even one district, we may have about 10 different branches of a particular organization. Let's take GCB. Let's take the banks. Let's take any company of choice. It is still a memo, but because their branches are many, we cannot type them. If they are 10, are you going to type them 10 times? It's the same information. So you use the circulars. Do you get it? Use the circulars, and that is what we are going to do today, to bring out the same information, but to find a way to have different addresses on each of the information. That is the idea. Because whether a memo or a, a letter, they must have their own address. Even if it's a memo, one particular memo should have maybe the branch at Cape Coast. Maybe another one should have the branch at Kotokraba, the branch at Pedu, the branch at Isi. So you still have different branches on the same memo. And we can only do this with mailings. I don't know if there are new softwares of which you can do this easily, but one of the simplest way of producing circulars is using the mailing tab. So with what we have discussed, I want the class to give us the purpose of circular letters. So two responses quickly, then we move on. The purpose of circular letters.
It's to send a message to other organization message that is pertain
Please, I want you
within
to
the
speak
organization.
louder, okay? We can't hear you. I can't hear you from my end.
Hello, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I would say it helps us to send the same information to a lot of people quickly.
Okay. So to send the same information to a lot of people. Yes. It also serves as a way of reminding customers of the company's products or services. So sometimes we want to remind our customers of a product or service. You circulate some of these letters around to our customers, our dear customers. And since we have their details, you just send one information. You see, you've seen that there is this kind, even the networks like MTN, when it is Mother's Day, they will send me the same message to every customer. So this you see that you are using an MTN, you receive the same Mother's Day message. You realize that your spouse or whoever you live with, who is also using MTN, would have also received the same message. Do you get it? So it is also a form of what circulars. It's also a way of doing that. But our concentration would be mostly for letters, mailings, emails, and labels, envelopes, and all that. It also serves as an advertising tool when dealing with customers, as you said. So that is when they contain essential marketing information to be distributed to many customers at the same time. We can talk of so many advantages and disadvantages of circulars. I don't know if there's a disadvantage. Of course, any good thing comes with its own disadvantage. Can we look at a particular thing that would be a disadvantage when circulars comes to mind? What can we say that it is a disadvantage? Think outside the box. Anything that is good definitely comes at a cost. So you can talk about a cost. Assuming
Yes,
you
I
have,
would say that once you are
yeah,
sending the information to so many people, once you make a mistake, that means that it goes to everyone like that.
yes,
They all
yes,
receive.
sure,
Mhm.
exactly. That was exactly what I was trying to say. So therefore, that should prompt you that you should not joke with circular letters at all. Especially we are going to look at the circulars, just like a memo having two parts, the address part and the message part. The circulars too has two parts. The message part is very, very important because assuming you have the cost even comes when you have used what the printed format. Now printing is here in Cape Coast, printing 50 pesos. The questionnaires I printed, I was expecting like to spend like 50 CDs on my questionnaires. Only my part of my questionnaires, 100. I spent 100 CDs because they were 2 pages. I was like, wow, 100 CDs for questionnaires. After I have finished inputting, I would just throw it away. So am I throwing 100 CDs away? I was doing all these calculations. I was like, hey, Charlie, if you are prepared to come to school, it's not easy. You can see that you are throwing money away. So imagine there is a mistake. on it. I'm just relating it to the cost or the kind of mistakes you can make, especially when we even go to the extent of printing the circular letters. And there's a mistake, a very great mistake that you cannot even use pen to rectify. You have to print everything again. You realize that if you don't take care, just a command, because of the command of printing all the circular letters and later realizing there's a mistake would really come at a cost. So that can be the disadvantage. You can talk about so many things. If care is not taken, it will become a disadvantage. But ideally, circulars have so many positive advantages because looking at the hell of if there was if there was no idea, somebody brought the idea that if we are sending the same message to so many people, why do we retype again? Somebody may say that, oh, we can just type the address there and just do copy and paste. So if it is 1,000 scripts, are you going to do copy and paste 1,000 times? No, you would even get exhausted, even though copy and paste seems to be easy. You see, copy and paste. So you type the address, then you paste the message. You type the address, you paste the message 1,000 times. No, it is also still exhausting. So that is why the use of circulars. Circulars, you only type your address in what we called a field. Of course, I'm going to introduce it to you. And then you just issue the command, finish and merge. And every address comes on the letter. The letter duplicates itself the number of times you want without doing the copy and paste, which somebody may think of. Do you get it? So ideally, circulars have actually come to take away that hell of probably somebody may think copy and paste or find other means to which to duplicate letters. But circulars is so easy. If your presentation should be catchy, we assume that whatever message you are sending in circulars is business related. It should be persuasive. Persuasive, remember the sales letter where we talk about being persuasive enough to get your customers. The message should be simple and straightforward, no long talks. It should be easy for the recipients to respond. It should be that easy. If the recipient has to respond, it should be easy for the recipient to respond to it. Benefit, we have talked about it. Creating public awareness, introducing a new product, saving time. All of these things are for a parasol. Maybe in your subjective exams, you may be asked to state 2 or 3 benefits of circular letters. That is why in class I ask you. So if the only benefit you know is about being economical, we have more benefits here. Here I have given about 6 benefits. So learning 4 of them should not be a worry. So 2 types. Before the what era of computer, we used to use the typewriter, and the typewriter had its own ways of duplicating things. In fact, that one is even more tedious than the computer. So the computer came and brought the use of what the mail merge. So since you are not going by the typewriter, we use what the mail merging as a means of producing circular letters. Any question? Any question? So one may ask, what is mail merge? Mail merge, what is it? Mail merging is a Microsoft Word feature that allows you to create multiple documents, such as letters, emails, envelopes, at the same time using a list. So we have already explained what circulars are. And we are saying that it is the Microsoft Word feature that allows you to create these multiple documents that we have discussed in the introduction. And how do we do that? We use the same time, okay? We use the list. I'll take you through the process. Then you realize that the first thing you have to do is to create your list. If you already have an existing list, fine. But today, since it is our first time using it, Even if I have existing list on my machine, I will not use the existing list. I'll take you through how to create a new list altogether. And then when you've created your own new list, in our subsequent ones, you remember I said we are going to do the letters together. Then I'll leave you, give you some minutes. I'll guide you so that you will create using that same list. So that will become your what? An existing list to create envelopes. And then when you are through, I would take you through the other ones. It's a process of combining a mailing list with a document to send the same information to a number of people. So in mail merging, as I said earlier, two documents are required. The main document and then the data source file. Main document is, what is the main document? The document you are sending. So if it's a message to all headmasters in your district, okay, asking them to convey at a time or venue for a particular meeting, maybe all private schools. We want to meet all private schools for a meeting. So all headmasters or headmistresses in all the private schools in a particular region, what message should be given? That message of announcing a meeting should be the same for everybody. So we have that main document, which is the message of the document, and then the data source file. The data source file is a separate document that contains what? The recipient information, such as the names and the addresses of the people who will receive the correspondence. The correspondence refers to a letter, a memo, any document that you are taking across. So that is the correspondence. So for example, the letter to be given to all head private schools headmasters in a particular district. That is the correspondence. Okay, so the data source file, that is a separate document that is containing the recipient information. What is the recipient information? Because you want to give it personally to each of the headmasters, you want to bring their names, you want to add their addresses and all that. Okay, so maybe you start Mr. Kwesi team, and the address will be what? Fanchene Basic School or Royals Primary School, Adeshe Primary School, or any school of your choice, Montessori, Nedosun. Okay, so quickly we are going to start our practicals. Any question? Any question? So what you do is, because I have already sent the slides on your WhatsApp, please open your WhatsApp. Open the slides on your WhatsApp. If you have a way of partitioning your laptop to open your slides alongside, then open your slides on your WhatsApp and partition it. But you are going to open a Word document. That is where we are going to have our practicals, okay? So a blank Word document. A blank Word document. So we know how to open. So I'm going to do that here for you. I am going to open a blank Word document and share that slide since we are going to work on it. So for now, I will stop sharing my slides. That is why I'm saying if you have your phone, you can open your slide on your phone while you use your desktop, so that even though when I speak, it is not necessary to still go with the slide. Just listen and then do the practicals. But the slide will just be a guide so that if you miss something, you can quickly go to the slide, what the slide is saying, and then work. Because I've taken my time to what? Put the steps down. So for example, step 1 is saying what? Assessing word mail merge commands. Assessing word mail merge commands. How do we assess it? You can only access it on your Microsoft Word. Whatever version you are using, just open your Microsoft Word, a blank Word document. Okay. Then I will show you where you pick your mailings tab and then what we are supposed to start to do. Any question? So now what are we doing? I want somebody to tell me what you are doing now so that I will know if you are following, indeed following. Who is
I
telling us?
open the Word document. Better.
Okay.
I've opened the Word document.
Okay. So as we always do, whenever I issue a command, I want if you are on course, just give me a thumbs up. The number of thumbs up I see on the whether the WhatsApp page or the virtual page would give me what would tell me that, oh, I can move on. So where do I go? Yeah, I said I want to share opening a new tab, right? Hey, Adia Koshenfa. Okay. Are we on course? How many thumbs up have I received? Or you are still struggling to open your new Word document? Okay, two. I want us to be on the same page because mailings is a steps. Okay, if you miss a step, then you will be lost. I don't want anybody to be lost in whatever forest, your village. No, 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 no. You should all be here. You get it? So just opening a Word document shouldn't be a problem. We have 10 participants. Augustina, have you opened your Word document? And 4 others.
Madam, please, I don't have my laptop with me right now.
Hey, Ayaka.
Madam, initiate. Me too
Hey,
can.
document processing. We said get a laptop. If you can't get one, borrow. Don't go and steal, but at least borrow from a friend only on Saturdays. So Friday evening, you just go to your friend, my friend, please, just for Saturday morning. Okay. Today, mailings, please try hard. Some of you may have Word documents on your phone. Try and open and see if you can use the mailings. I doubt the phones will not give you those. The phone may have just the home and the insert tab. The remaining tabs will not be available. So what you can do is just to listen, okay, and follow suit. If possible, you can use the recordings to be given. The recordings also show the videos, right? Okay, then that's fine. Other than that, you can use your phone to take that snapshot or something so that when you get access to the laptop, you can practice it. Okay. It is only through practice that you will be able to remember and then give the responses in the examination. Examination will not ask you to come and do the practical work of mailings. However, you ask you questions regarding the steps. And if you have practiced it, it will be on your fingertips. So you know a particular step, what it is used for, a particular field. Now I asked you a question. Now, so far what I've said, I said that there are two parts in a document. What are those two parts? I want somebody to answer that. In preparing mailings, they are in two parts. I just said it too. Or the question is not
Madam,
clear.
please, is it the main document and data source file?
Good. So the data source file. The data source file is what I'm going to introduce you to. Okay. So before we get our data source file, now the first step is what? Assessing well-made, assessing the word mail-made command. What is the mail-made command? It's the mailing step. Okay. So where can you find your mailings on the tab? Can you locate it? Where can you locate it? Have you seen it? This is your mailing tab. This is where my cursor is. Have you seen it? I'm sharing my Word document, document 1. Have you all seen it? So this is the mailings tab. You click on the mailings tab, okay? Let's click on it. What do you see? Right from the left side. You see, when you click on this mailings tab, everything becomes active. The things that are active are what? The things you can use for your mailings. So when I clicked on the mailings, you can see envelopes, right? You can see labels. You can see, so this is create, but we need to start mail merge. Okay. There's create, these are what you create. There's start mail merge, and there's write and insert fields. There's preview result, and there is finish. Why do you think the write and insert fields, the preview result, and finish are all inactive? Why do you think these ones are all inactive? The active ones are bolded. You see, but these ones are inactive. Logically, what do you think? Why are they inactive for now? Hello, can you all hear me? Are you there? Or you have no idea? Oh, the reason is simple. Ideally, because we are yet to start. You see, because we are yet to start. For example, you are going to Kotokraba, and all the things available to you. It is only the taxi that is going to maybe Pedu Junction that is available. You have not gotten to Kotokraba, so you may decide to take the taxi that is going to Pedu Junction and then alight there. And you are sure that when you get to Pedu Junction, you get more taxis going to Kotokraba. So if they are unavailable, that means you have not gotten them. Do you get it? So it is only the active tabs that would be shown. That is because you cannot, so in a way, it is telling you that you cannot insert fields when you have not even started the mail merge. You cannot preview results when you have not done anything. What are you previewing? You have not done anything. And you cannot finish when you have not done anything. Do you get it? So ideally, even if you don't know that you have to start your mail merge, the remaining buttons or the remaining tabs will be non-active. Because if you don't know, okay, so mailings, where do I go? Should I start with insert fields? No, it is even not active. So that shows that you are not supposed to start with the insert field. You first start mail merge. That is why they said start mail merge. And you only start mail merge, okay, by clicking on this button, start mail merge. You see there is a tab here. You can use the down arrow or you can just click on it. We are starting the mail merge. You see, it has even given you a simple language for you to understand. So the first step is to do what? To access your mailing tab by opening the blank document. And from the mailing tab, we want to start with what? Letters. Okay. I will explain each of them to you. Letters, you can use letters, you can use email messages, you can use envelopes, you can use labels, you can use directory. Before I click on letters, I want to explain each of them, what it does. Okay, so for example, letters allow you to alter one letter and send it to multiple people. So the only thing you alter on the letter is probably the recipient address, isn't it? The recipient address. Envelopes, sorry, email messages allow you to personalize the letters designed to be sent to multiple people through emails. Envelopes allow you to print envelopes addressed to multiple people. So on top of the envelope, I'm just giving you a brief description, but when we go to each and every one, I'll explain in detail. Okay. So for example, envelopes, you are going to print the addresses on top of the envelope. And of course, the envelope will be given to so many recipients. So different addresses on the envelope deal with what? The source documents for the envelopes. The labels. Also, when you have a package and then you want to label each package by putting the address, the names and the addresses of the recipients of those packages, you use labels. Okay, you label each package. So it's just like the envelopes, but you realize that where you position the names and addresses on the envelope will be different from that of the labels. The information might naturally be the same because it will still be the names and the addresses of people, but one will be on envelopes, one will be on labels. So, for example, if I take you through the envelopes, you should be able to do it through the labels because it's the same thing. In fact, you can use the same information for all of them. It is only the directory that will change a bit because the directory has to do with more related information. So, for example, the directory may include the names of people, the phone numbers, the location, contact details, emails. I mean, you know what directories are. Directory is more like, there are some organization, even in your school, you have the directory of staff. So if you go to the administrator and ask that I want this particular staff, maybe the contact details of the staff. They can just take it and give it to you. How? Because they have a directory. It is like in the old those days where we used to have diaries that has been drawn in a way that it only has the contact details of people. So they are like tables in the diaries where they have already designed their names, telephone numbers, address, emails, fax number, location. I mean, you can think of all means of contacting the person in the directory. And that is what the directory does. So the directory may not necessarily be the names and address like what we see on letters, but may go further to add other information like phone numbers, mobile numbers, contact details, emails, and all that. Okay, so briefly, that is it. So again, we are starting the mail merge with what? Letters. We want to begin with letters. So you click on letters. Let us all do it. We have clicked on letters, okay, on letters. But you know something? Sometimes look at these two ways of doing it and look at the most convenient way of doing it. When you start with your source, you said every information has to write the main document and the source document. We have started preparing our source document without getting our main document. So when you are done, you are now going to do what? Copy and paste to each of the source document by bringing your main document. Do you see how hectic that can also be? So it's also a help. So what I would always say is, and what I would give to my student is always get your main document ready before you come and prepare your source document. Okay. So for the slides, I was teaching as if we are now preparing our source documents. And I think I took out the main documents out, even though I had said it there. So in practice, this is what I want you to do. Take any document. Yes, you have written letters. Yes, good. The letters you wrote to me in document one, I believe you have saved some on your file. Pick any of them, okay? And then copy it all and paste it here. And let's delete something. I'm going to do same here for you to see. So let me go and take the letter I sent to school for data collection. Okay. And let's use it as assuming I need more schools to take what? Data from. So assuming I'm going to take data from 10 schools. Okay, today's work, let's narrow it to 5 so that we can speed up to 5 schools. So I'm not going to copy it 5 times. I'm just going to copy only once, okay, on my document, and then we can do the source document on it for it to duplicate itself, rather than doing the source document and now going to copy and paste the main document in it to get a complete document. It is a waste of time. So all the time, I get my main document first, and then I start my mail merge. And that is the best way or the best approach to go by. But you can do it both sides, but I feel this is the best approach to go by. So quickly, as I've said, get your main documents from any document you have. And it will be best if you use what? A letter. You already have a letter on your machine. Document one, you wrote a lot of letters. Do you remember? I am going to pick my own letter. So I have one letter to Apioska Basic School. I'm going to copy it, Control A. Then to select all, then Control C, right? Then you open your new document, Control N, and then Control V. Okay. So I'm going to share document 2 instead of document 1, where I have my letter ready. So I have copied one of my letters and I'm sharing that, okay? I want you to do same. The same questionnaire I asked you to fill is what? Okay. So this document is what? Letter to Apioska. Have you seen it? Yes, this. So which one is my sender's address and which one is my recipient's address? Here is my recipient's address, right? Have you seen it? Apioska Basic School is my recipient address. So what I'll do is, because I want to use mail merge, I want to take away this recipient address. So you put the cursor at where the address would be, because I'm going to do mail merge on the same letter. Okay. Assuming I'm sending the letter, let's change the dates so that it will look current. 16th May. Assuming I'm taking the letter today. Okay. And I'm taking it to 5 schools today. Are you following? I want to hear you talk. Are you there?
Yes.
Because of network challenges, sometimes I'll be talking and by the time I realize I'm off, the network is not favoring. So I don't want to be in that position. So let me hear you speak. Are you there?
Yes, madam.
Good. So that I know that I'm with you. So what I'm saying is, this is a letter to your Pius Cabbage School to conduct what research. It doesn't mean copy my letter and put there. Take any of the letters you've done, okay, and let's assume that you are sending that same information to different recipients. It's not by force to use schools. You can just create your own companies, company A, company B, company C. Just create something as your recipient address. But I'm taking you through how to use mail merge to get duplicates of the letters, so that the letter would have the same content, which is the same main document, and the data source, where the data source would now reflect the names and address of the recipient. So this document is just one document, okay? Document 2 is what I'm using now. At the end of the day, since I've said I'm going to use 5 schools, we are going to create 5 lists on our data source, and you realize that this is only one page letter, which was for Apioska. But when we are done, we would have about 5 pages, where each page would contain the same data source, the same main data, which is the letter itself, but will have different addresses on each of them for 5 letters. So at the end of the day, you would see yourself how simple it is to have the same data or the same information, the main document, having 5 different addresses on each of them without doing copy and paste. I already have it. It will duplicate itself, okay, using mail merge. And mail merge is so interesting to do. It is not difficult at all. So you realize that this is the sender's address will be on all of them, right? It is only the recipient address that will change. So again, I want to emphasize, if you put your cursor, assuming the cursor is here, all the recipient address will come immediately after Ghana, you see. But if you put the cursor at the right place, because the recipient address should always come after the date, then you realize that it will follow suit without making mistakes. So remember, in our introduction, we said one disadvantage is assuming you make a mistake, it will reflect on all of them. So to start the data source, one other thing I would expect you to do is go through your main source very well if everything is on point. For now, let's assume everything is on point. This is what I want to what? Carry. Okay. So this is my letter, and I'm saying that I am requesting for permission to conduct research in your school. Start telling them about the title of my research, okay, and what I expect to do. I'm just going to take questionnaire and classroom observation, okay, that's all. So the main document is on point. There is no mistake in the main document. When you do that, you have passed at least 50%. Now, the second thing you have to take notice, put the cursor at where your source document should reflect. And I'm saying it should be right after the date in letters. Okay. So if the cursor is here, when you start with your preparing your source document and you finish and merge, everything will be shown here. But who pentem now with the case and or two title has say. When you are done and you don't take care and you print immediately, that is where the cost will come. But when you are done and you go and preview and you see that, hey, your source document has been positioned at the wrong place, then you have to go and do it all over again before you print. And that is also another problem. So the idea is always ensuring the cursor is positioned at the place where you want the source document. And what I mean by source document is the address, the names and addresses that we want it to appear on all the letters. You should position the cursor at where it should be. That is what one thing to note. So now I am okay to start my mail merge, right? So what have I done? The first document where I started my mail merge, I have put it somewhere. I'm no longer using it. In fact, I'm not going to save. I am not going to save. So I'm going to close that document. And when I'm asked to save, I will say don't save. So I am going to start my mail merge on this particular document. Okay. Which is document 2. Oh, okay. I was sharing I copied it on, instead of me to open it, I was working on different things. So this was what I was saying, and nobody prompted me. I did that on a different one. This is what I was saying. So I have taken this off and I'm putting it here. Okay. You see, I want to copy. Okay. Maybe Monday. Monday will be what? 15, 17, 18. Okay. So which of them is being shared? I want to be sure. Which document am I sharing? I shared the document and I was doing whatever I was explaining. I was explaining it on the original document. So I've closed the original document. Okay. Okay, good. I'm sharing this, right? So I've corrected that. So I've closed the original document so that I've done a duplicate, which is document 2. And that is what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what I was saying. I've put the cursor here so that is where I'm going to prepare my source document. Okay. So from here, what did I say? In preparing, you go to what the mailing tab, right? You click on the mailing tab and you start mail merge. Okay. So I start mail merge, I click on it and I click on letters. Click on letters. If you are there, give me a thumbs up and take a snapshot of what you have done and put it on the page, WhatsApp page. I need two students to do it so that I can move on. I want to see your main document, okay, and the fact that you have put your cursor at the place where the address should be, okay, and you have started with the mail merge where I said click on start mail merge and just click on letters. That's all. No action will be seen for now, but take a snapshot of one of the letters you have written, of which you are going to prepare the mail merge function on. Okay. So when you've taken the snapshot, if I even get one on the WhatsApp platform, I'll continue. But if I don't get it, I'll not continue. We will end the class. So I'm waiting for you. If you can't find any of the letters, just pick any document you have, okay? And assume that is a letter. I don't need the content of the message or the document. I don't need the main I don't care about the contents of the message. What I care about is I want to see that there's a main document on which you are going to assume is a letter, okay, of which you want to prepare the source document on. So the main content can be anything. If it is a recent assignment you have done, just copy just a portion, so that on top of it, you would assume that, okay, this message is what is supposed to be given to 5 respondents. Then you only prepare our source document on the main document. You would only assume it is a letter. So if you can't find a letter, don't waste the whole time on this for us to continue. Just get a document and put the cursor on top of the document before the main text. Any text at all, put the cursor on top of it. And then let's start our mail merge. That is all that I'm looking for. I want us to have, when you finish a merge, you will be able to see that the same document has been duplicated 5 times. And on each of the main documents has different addresses. That is the purpose of the mailings you are doing today. So don't waste my time, please. If you can't find the letter, just get any document on your laptop and then put the cursor on top as I showed you and do the start mail merge before we start doing the source document itself. At this level, if you are not there, whatever I do will be cost 90. So if you are all on course and you've done it, you just take a snapshot, send it to the WhatsApp page, and then I know that, okay, you are good to go. But so now I have not seen anything. That means you are still struggling, which I don't want. I don't want to just come talk, 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 and at the end of the day, I don't bear any fruit. No, the fruit is your output, what I see you doing. And that will motivate me to either continue or to end the class. So I'm still waiting for you. Okay, can we continue now? The one who has sent cover page, please get the document, not the cover page. What are we using the cover page for? Ma,
Madam, please, that's mine. Uh,
I've seen
mine, there's
mine.
no listen, the Word document on it. So I use the WPS office and it's inactive.
Uh, ah, okay.
So that's the
That's my
challenge I'm having.
okay. So that's Mamiaba voice soon. All right. So at least better you have sent something, your Word document. Okay. So if you don't have any, have you been able to open a blank page for now?
Using
If
with Word, no, it's not active.
Word document is not
I
active.
think I'm actually using my daughter's laptop. Mine, I left it in school.
Okay, so just follow suit. I just hope you'll be able to understand, but it would have been best if you tried it. It is a simple technique that we will do. You would appreciate it and then you see how simple it is. Okay, so let's
Madam,
continue. So what I
thank
said
you.
was after you've had your Word document, position the cursor at where you want the address to be seen. So you can see for my Word document that my cursor keeps on blinking right after the date. And what we did was after you've done that, I said you should click on Start Mail Merge and go to Envelopes, which we did. Okay, we have already done that. I clicked on this and then you saw envelopes. I clicked on it. When you are done, nothing is shown because you have not selected recipient. So the next thing after the start mail merge, showing that you are actually using the letters. Sorry, I said envelopes. You are using the letters. You go to what? Select recipient list. And that is where we prepare our data source file. Okay, so click on select recipient list. And as I said, I have existing list on my laptop because I've been using it. However, for the sake of us treating the whole new list, okay, so you click on type a new list and the list appears. If you have gotten to this, give me a thumbs up and just take a snapshot and put it there. So I am going to type while you also type names and addresses that you know. It doesn't mean you have to go and look for an address. This is the time that your creativity will be exposed. So you can start. I'm going to My bat's running low. Oh, as for that your surname, I love it, but every time I forget. Or she has left the class, attending to other things. Hey, course rep.
Yes, madam. I'm
Hey,
following
what's
you.
your show? Yeah, chill, pa. You are attending to other things. You are not in class.
Ayeka.
If you are the course rep there, as for you, your name should always be on my lips. But I don't know why your surname seems not to. So, what is your surname? Is it constitute? What is it?
Continua.
Continuum. Continuum. Okay. Mhm. So, which company are you running? ABC. While I type, you should be typing to company limited. So, address line one. Let's just take that ABC is at Yemano Ablekumabi. And then address line two, Accra. We are just creating something, okay? So I want you to also show your creativity skills here. We are creating names and addresses of the people. Should we end here? Yes, we would end here, okay? So that the list will not be too long. So at least we have, for example, we have the first name and surname, the company's name, the address line one and address line two. For the address, I think it is okay. We can add email if you wish. Some people add emails to their recipient address, but for the here, let's end here. If you want to add new entry, you click on either new entry and you go to the next line. Okay, so next line, let's give another title. Let's say Mr. Okay, Mr. I wish to use the names of the class. Any mail should give me the name, unless I go and
Sakobna.
check. Kobna. Okay. Kobna what? So while I do it, you should also be typing Kobna surname, or I'll give you a surname that you don't like. Ametaho. Then company name. Let's give you XYZ. It doesn't mean you are with that company. Maybe you don't like, but XYZ Company Limited. Oh, we are even dealing with schools. I wanted to use school, so I forgot, and now because the company name has confused me. Okay, so let's assume we are using basic schools as we said, so that it will look more real. Okay, so
Madam,
uh-huh.
madam, please, we are not seeing what you are typing, oh, or it's only me.
Ah,
It's still
how
the
come?
old one that is on the page.
Let me go and check.
The APC company and others now, we are not seeing it.
Oh, okay. I think, but you can see my Word document.
Yes, madam.
So it means that because those lists I am preparing are not complete. I'm now preparing the source file. It is not going to show until the whole work has been done. That is what when you are sharing, you share a document, you don't share the process of making the document. You get it? So what I'll do is I can use my phone to rather take a video. Because if we like, this is yes, this is what I've seen here. People have given me a thumbs up. So I am working all right. I'm working with mailings, but it was more like underground. Underground. How do we produce the mailings list? I have not produced the mailings list yet. You see, so the document itself, which I'm showing, you will not see the mailings list, but the process of getting the mailings list is not part of the document. That is why it's not showing. So it's good you have. Is it echoing? I quite a feed out. See, I'm also hearing myself repeating. Hello. Hey, so what do I do?
Yes, madam. There is echo.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Okay. Is it echoing
No, please. It's
or
okay.
this is better now?
Yes,
Because I don't hear
please.
myself echoing again. The process of getting the source document will not be shown. Okay. So the only thing I can do is while I speak, I would do a video with my phone and quickly send it. But when I speak, I give out the instruction. So I expect you to do it alongside. But those who don't have the phone, you have to wait. I will have to send the video, give you some few like 2 minutes to go through the video. Then you can follow suit. Like what is expected to be seen after putting those instructions. You command the you command the computer to do what you want. And that is what I'm doing. So the process will not be captured on the Zoom. It is only the result that will be captured. So I will send you the process, then you can continue. Okay. So let me so those who were able to listen, try to do it while I also try and do mine again so that I can take the video for you or a picture. I think the picture will do. This is what we are getting. That is why I love to take this face to face, where you have your laptops in front of you. Then I pause, I go around to see what my students are doing, but teaching this online not the best. So this is what we are doing. Because I'm typing, I can't I wouldn't be able to hold the phone. I use both hands to type. So I've rather taken the snapshots. So okay, let me just do a 2-minute video and use one hand. Here, we wanted to use body is that. Okay, let me record now. Okay, so this is it. When you are moving to the next one, you click on new entry here. Okay, new entry. So but I'm not done with this because I wanted to change the company's name and rather use the schools. So let's rather say ABC Primary School, or we have a name for it, ABC MA Primary or whatsoever school. Let's just add school. I've forgotten. Let's XYZ Basic School. Let's add Basic School. Okay. And all that. So you know something, since we are even dealing with schools, usually when you are sending it, we want to use the head and then the person's name and title and all that. So let's forget about us using the school. Okay, other than that, we would want to use probably the company's name to be the head. We have to start typing by saying the head. Okay, we have to start typing by using the head, because the fact is how you want the address to be shown is how you type. So title, first name, last name. You may bring the person's name there, then you say the head, or you may decide to even omit it. Usually when you are typing to the schools, we don't even know the names of the headmaster or whatsoever. So we can do it in two folds. Assuming we are using a company, we can bring the person's name like title, first name, last name, and then we can start by saying maybe like what we did. Like what we did, like XYZ Company Limited, ABC Company Limited. These are for companies. But now, since we want to use the school setting, And the school setting usually may not include the names of the people involved. We usually go straight and say the head. Instead of putting the title as doctor, we can rather use the head to be the title. Okay, the head rather. The issue, forget about the whatever is here as what should be put there. The fact is, what you want to have changed. So if you realize in the initial stage when I was doing the title first name last name, I did it as if I was sending the letters to companies. And in that jurisdiction, most of the times you need to put the names of the company or whoever the letter should go to. That is why we use the title, first name, last name, company name as seen here. But even though these will be the titles, I'm saying that depending on how you want the address to appear on your letter, you can still do it by not focusing so much on what the title says, like title, first name, last name, but you just put the information there as how you want it to look like. So, for example, since this is supposed to be given to heads of schools, okay, so I may start with the head, Apioska Basic School. So, Apioska, I'll type Apioska, Apiosika Basic School, Basic School. You see, the head, Apioska Basic School. Then the last name, we can rather put, you can just put maybe, would use it as if that one is, or you can use Apioska and then the last name will be Basic School, whichever. Or you can put them here and maybe the last name would be the place, Apiosika. Is at Apiosika. Then the company name will rather be what? Maybe Cape Coast. Then we forget about the address line 1 and the address line 2 or whatever. Please go back to your WhatsApp and check what I've done there, 2 minutes, so that I can, while you are checking, I'll be able to create a list for you. Okay. And I've sent you how the list will look like. Let me do another, go through, then I can do another video and then you can follow suit. Okay. So I'm on my third entry and I'm saying to go to the third entry, you can click on what? New entry, what you see here. Okay. So when you click the new entry, it will give you the third line for you to work on it. Assuming you have made a mistake and you want, there are so many things you want to delete entry, you can delete that entry. Maybe the first entry is a mistake. I can delete it and create new one, but I don't want to delete it now. So I'll just use the, so either you create new entry or delete entries, what you have here. Or if there is something you want to find, maybe you have a lot of things, but you've forgotten where you wrote it. Then you want to find it, just like using the search button to find a particular word or text in what you've done. You can click on find and then it will give you what are you finding. You are finding where probably you wrote Apuska and it will show you where you wrote your Apuska. You see, so that is also some of the things you can do there. Assuming you can't find where you wrote Apuska, you can go to what? Find, and it has showed you that it is on the first entry. That is where you have your Apuska. Okay, you can still go to find next and it will show you where you will find it. So there are no more entries that contain the text you type, which is Apuska. That means that the Apuska that you have mentioned can only be found on the first entry. So you realize that it has showed you. So these things are for your perusal, for you to just practice them. But most of the time, what we use is the new entry whenever you move to the next one. Okay, so the new entry, I'm going to type more addresses. Okay, so use this time to type more addresses. So I lost the previous data that was typed. I don't know why I typed. I deleted the whole entry. So I retyped the whole thing again. That is why I've taken some time. Okay, but now I've completed my 5 lists. Okay, I've retyped the whole 5 lists again. So can we move on? So I'm going to do a video of the 5 lists I have created and then show you what to do next. Okay. So these are my entries. My first entry is the head, Apioska Basic School, for the first name. And then the last name is what? Apioska. Then the company name is what? Cape Coast. Okay. Since I'm dealing with schools, I am not focusing so much on what the title say. For example, in the previous entry that you were dealing with, I was looking at the organization. So if you can remember, I use titles of people. For example, Dr. Beta Continua. That will be the first, the last, and then the company name. I gave her a company name. Company name. I gave her address line 1, address line 2, and it ended it. This one, I am just focusing on the titles and just trying to create an address as if she has a company, and then I'm sending it to her company. But I remember that, okay, we are doing this to request for permission to conduct research in basic schools. So let us focus on it. So that is one style of doing it. Assuming you are doing it with schools and you are still using the male smell, because I wanted to use the school setting because most of you are teachers and you may be asked to send letters around. So let's use the school setting. Does it mean because you have the title, the first name, last name, company name, you can't use it in schools? No, you can ignore what it means and just put how you want the address to be seen on the letters there. So, for example, for the recipient address, I always want to see the head because I'm writing to either the headmaster or the headmistress. So the head, then the name of the school comes, the place or the location comes. That is why I have here the head, Apioska Basic School. Apiosika is at Apiosika, and then the location is what? Cape Coast, and that is all. So it continues and we move on. So let me send this to. I make the video short so that you can easily access and for us to follow. So the second video I'm doing again. So you have the head Quapro MA is at Quapro is in Cape Coast. Then we have the head Montessori School is at Pedu is Cape Coast. Then the fourth one is what the head University Primary JHS Primary Stroke JHS is at University of Cape Coast, also in Cape Coast. Then the fifth school I is what Joe Burns Primary School. I just created the name. So the head Joe Burns Primary School, assuming it is at Abra and it is also in what Cape Coast. It is highlighted because that is my last what entry. So when you are done with your last entry, you simply click on what? OK. As I am showing you in the video, you simply click on OK and it registers the entry for you. You see, when you click on OK, you cannot just leave it. You have to save it. So as soon as you click on entry, you see that there's a file name for you to save. You see that I have some new list too here. Those were the lists I did yesterday. I thought I can use the old list to do it, but I realized no, let me show you how to create a new list yourself. So that the new list I will create, you will all learn today for the letters. You use that, that will become your existing list. Then you can come and pick it to prepare the envelopes, the labels, and the directory, as I've said. Okay, so when you click on OK, it automatically brings you here for you to save. Now, what will I save? Let's save it as what? Address for head teachers. Okay, I don't think I have that name, so let me save it as address for head teachers. For head teachers. That is how I've saved it so that anytime I'm looking for an existing list I can use address for head teachers. And then I'll click on what? Save. That part didn't come. Let me do it again. I have some more teaching and videoing at the same time. So as I typed the address for head teachers, I'll just come to what? Save. So as soon as I click on it, it has saved for me. That's all. So when it saves for you like this, you have to move to the next stage. But I want to find out from you if you've been able to do this well so that we can move to the next stage. Let me end my video. Some of you have given thumbs up to the videos I've sent. So at least it shows that you are following. After watching the video, please give me thumbs up, especially if you have videos I've sent before I continue. If you have not opened it, don't quickly put thumbs up because you'll be deceiving yourself. The thumbs up shows you understand what we are doing. Kofi Asante, are you there? Mercy.
Yes, madam.
Mercy, I'm taking roll call. Mercy, are you there?
Yes, please, Doc.
Okay, she's absent. Beatrice.
Uh, Hello, Doc.
She's present. Mercy is
Beatrice
present.
Beckun, are you there? Beatrice.
Madam.
Beatrice.
Madam.
Okay. Alice. Alice Boyson.
Yes, madam.
Alice.
Yes, madam.
Alice. Okay, Alice is also absent. Kofi Asante, you are absent. You are now giving me a thumbs
Madam,
up.
please, I'm
You are
not
not here.
absent. Oh. Madam,
Augustina.
please, I'm here.
Yes, madam.
Augustina.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Madam, I've responded.
Okay.
Please, madam, I think the feedback at your end is not good. If not that they are all responding. So far, all those that you have mentioned, they all responded. Hello.
Hey, maybe I've lost connection. So
Yes,
you have
maybe
all
you've
responded.
lost connection. They've all
Ah, okay.
responded, madam.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Okay, so what is happening? But can you hear me when I speak?
Yes, madam.
Oh, okay. Then that is fine.
Please, is the network that she's trying to join back again. Let's exercise some patience. She will join us soon.
Can we continue now?
Yes, madam.
Good. I was talking, but I had muted myself, so I wasn't getting response. And some more. So, but can you all hear without it echoing? Okay. So I've seen someone's comment on the videos being helpful, right? So at least with the video, you can follow suit, right? That means you have all watched the video. So you can quickly give the instruction for it to take effect. Okay. So let's continue from there. From where we ended, after doing our source file, the data source file, remember, okay, let me briefly go through. We started with our main document. Then we put the cursor at where we want the data source file to appear. In other words, where we want our recipient address to be on the letter. So position the cursor at where you would have typed your recipient address. That is what we mean. So after you have positioned your cursor there, you start mail merge. And in starting mail merge, the first that even comes is letters. And of course, we are dealing with letters. So you click on letters. When you click on it, you will not automatically see any action being performed, but the computer has registered that you are going to work on letters. Then you go to the next button, which says select recipient. Okay, so it's still at the start mail merge tab group. That group is start mail merge group. The names of the things under it are called groups. So remember, the first group is create, the second group is start mail merge, and the third group is write and insert field, and the fourth group is what? Preview results, and the fifth group is finish. That is the whole process in mail merge. So we started with start mail merge. Some people may start with the create, but it will not do anything because at the create session, you have envelopes and labels. But we are dealing with letters. That is why we did not even go to create at all. We started with what? Start mail merge groups. And start mail merge groups, you start with what? Start mail merge, where we clicked on letters. You go back and select recipients. That is where we had our list. And the list is what I have demonstrated in the videos I have put on your WhatsApp platform. So I have 5 lists. In all, I have 5 lists. I explained you that on a normal setting, in a business setting, you have titles, you have first name, you have last name, and all that. You see, however, because you are not using the business setting where we initially gave titles, like your course rep, we gave her a title, Dr. Beta Continua. So that would be the first name and then the last name. Then we gave her a company name. We gave her address line 1 and address line 2. And I thought that was okay. And we would have done that for all the names of the students in the class. But we realized that, okay, I want to shift the concentration from the companies to the classrooms, because most of you are teachers and you may be required to send circular letters to other schools. How do you go about it? If you are working not just as a teacher but as a school secretary, and you have to send letters to different respondents for different schools, how would you? So you are going to send it to the head. Ideally, when you are sending to the schools, maybe you send it to the head, Apioska Basic School, Apiosika, Cape Coast. That is all. That will be the address of your recipient. So I use that format to prepare 5 lists for 5 basic schools in Cape Coast. I created one, and the remaining 4 are existing schools. I don't know whether the last one is actually an existing school. I remember there was a school like that, but it's not even in Abra. It's somewhere on UCC Camp, Joe Benz or something. I don't know whether it's Joe Benz or Ruth Benz. There are 2 different names together or something like that. So I just created. So it's about creativity. Okay. Then I gave it location, Abra, also in Cape Coast. So we have our 5 lists now. When you are done, you click on what? Okay. That is what is seen in the video. Okay. So you click on OK after you have typed all your 5 lists. It doesn't mean all of them should always be 5. It can be more. And I showed you that when you are going to the next, you just click on what? New entry. There's the new entry at the bottom. New entry, delete entry, find, and all that. I demonstrated it in the videos. You have watched it. So when you click on new entry, you move to the next one. So after the 5th entry, that is all. So I don't go to new entry. I click on OK. As soon as I click on OK, it takes us to the save button. Well, you have to save it with a file name. If you watch the video, what name did I save it with? I want somebody to answer it. What name did I save my data source file with? If somebody is able to answer, that means you are truly on course. What name did I save my data source, the 5 list? I saved it with the name and I showed it in the video. Some of you are now going to play the last video. I've seen all your tricks. So, what name did I save with? You go and watch the last video and just tell me. If you don't save your entry list, you will not be able to use it for your circulars. And you realize that all that.
Madam, please address for all
Last
head
video and just
teachers.
tell me the name so that
Address
we
for
can
head
move on.
teachers. Hello, madam.
Hello. So I did a video so that you can watch the video. I have finished and merged in the video I have sent. Okay. So while waiting for the network, I decided to do the video so that you can watch and then work on it. But now that the network has come, I think I'll still have to take you through. Okay, so that the video will just be another alternative in case you don't understand what we did in class. All right. So I've sent the video. Loading media. The video is too long. Oh, some. I should have used the short videos. So it will be trimmed. Hey, Nyan downloading here. So what we do is since we've had a network now, let's continue. Later in the day, you can watch the video of how we would finish and merge our work. Okay. So what I'll do is let's go through it again for the last time. The video is taking time to download. Are we on course?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay. My document too, I've already made. So what do we do? Okay. Let me copy the. Okay, let me take document 1 and see. Yes, you realize that the document has merged beautifully. So when I finish and merge, I'm just showing you how the feedback is. And then I'll take you through how we had it again. Okay. When I finished and merged, this is what we had. We had one data which we merged. But when we merged, look at, we have one letter. The address is for the head, Apioska Basic School, Apioska, Cape Coast. Then we have a second one. You see the same information. This one is where Kwapro, MA School, Kwapro, Cape Coast. Then we have a third one, the head, Montessori, paid to Cape Coast. You see, when we hear, I think we should have. That is why you have to ensure that there's space. The spacing and everything you have to ensure. This one, for instance, you have to remove the space. I have said it in the video. We should have done this before we finish a merge. So before you merge, you have to ensure that you have done all the necessary corrections. Other than that, you finish and merge, and so you have to go back and correct each individual address again and again, which we want to avoid. Okay, so for example, this one, before we finish the merge, we should have what? Removed space from them. This is where you remove the space after paragraph. Okay. Then ensure that dear sir, madam is not part of it. So you create space. All of these things you should have done it before we finish the merge. But unfortunately, because we do not do it, we are even lucky they are just 5. Assuming they are 100, I have to take them one by one and be deleting all the spaces and all that. So you have to take notes. At the same time, addresses should not be bolded. Who else? Other than that, you finish and merge the work, and it will repeat it throughout. It will 100. I feel na work 100 pages. Bold like what I'm doing, which we want to avoid. So I'm going to take you through the process again, and this time around, I'll be sure to remove all the spaces that I have to remove. If they are bolded, I have to take them off. and ensure that all the necessary corrections are made before I finish and merge. Because when I finish and merge, whatever corrections you have to do it individually, like I'm doing now. Okay, which you want to avoid. Look at this. You have to do them one by one. Change it to a normal writing and not bolded. Okay. So when we finish the image, we have 5 letters, the same content, the same dates, the same sender's address, but different recipient address. And that is the purpose of what? Circular letters. Any question? Any question? Any question on what I've said? I'm going to take you through how I had it, but any question on what I've said? Why you are supposed to ensure network you why you are supposed to ensure that the corrections are done. Yes, sir. One major no say 100 1,000. I think no corrections need bill. We want to avoid all of these things. So you do all your corrections. That is why you have time to preview your results. If you have to edit, you can edit. I think that the video has finally been shared. Okay. So you can take your time and do it if you are losing network here. But if you can hear me, we can continue because I I can see a caption in my presentation that I've lost network. Meanwhile, I can also see that it is still playing. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
For now,
madam.
Oh, okay. So why that caption? Or it's an old caption? All right.
it's an old.
Then let's do how we had the data and how we got to finish and merge. Though I have explained in the video, this time around I want to do it again so that I can do all the corrections before I finish and merge. And yes, sir, I have to come back, take away the space, take away the bolds, the ones that are bolded, which are not supposed to be bolded. All of these things should be done before you finish and merge. So that when you merge, there will be no other corrections to be made. Then you can print them. Yes, sir, we are now printing another cost. That is the disadvantage. So using mail merge, you have to open your eyes to ensure that there are no mistakes. Do you understand? Yes, there are no mistakes. Other than that, the mistake will also come at a cost, with its own cost, which we want to avoid. I'll just copy this. I'm going to delete it and put the cursor here. Okay, like we did. And just like I did in the video, I told you that when you start with our mailings, whatever I do is the process. So you not see. That is what I've shown in the video. So I'm doing it all over again. So when I speak, refer your mind back to the video you watched previously. I went to mail you. So what I've done is, since I have finished a mail, the documents are there. But I want to show you how I had it. So I've opened a new document, copied only one letter, which is the source document. Sorry, which is the main document. I'm yet to do a new what? File. So when I do the mail, I go to mailings, then I go to a start mail merge. Then I click on letters because you are going to work with letters. Then I go back to select recipients. Then I went to type a new list where I typed. But this time around, since I've done it, I'm going to use what? An existing list. Okay. It's the same thing. Going the hell to type new list. You have already seen it in the video. So my existing list, I chose what? Address for head teachers. Okay. Okay. I'll go and edit the address for head teachers. Open. And then let me go and edit my recipient list and see if I can edit any of them. I think the information was accurate. That is fine. So I will not edit. I'll just go towards the insert merge field. And I'm saying we went to the insert merge field and inserted the title. Okay. Then I went to the next line. Then I inserted what? First name. You click enter. Then you insert what? Last name. Okay. Insert. Then you click enter again. For this one, you can see, right? Hey. I think it has repeated itself. Control V. Okay. How they were so more question. Okay. So this is what I'm showing. So what I've inserted only the title and then the first name. Okay. So I'll go back to insert merge field and then insert what? Last name, because that's, and then you go to insert field, last name. When it comes, you click on enter to go. So we want the address to be positioned this way. Okay. So then I ended on company name, right? Yes. And I'm saying that you realize that these have spaces in between them. So you go to your home tab. If you are watching my screen, you go to the home tab, and this is the paragraph, the line and spacing settings, and you try and remove the space. When you do this before you merge the fields, you don't have to go back like I did. Okay, so that they will be together neatly like this. Then you also realize that it looks like, I don't know, this is bolded, or no, it's not bolded. Okay, it's not bolded, and that is fine. So where did the bold come from? Okay, so the merge field title was the head. The name of the school was the first name. We replace the first name with the name of the school. So the head. Remember, we are still with the mailing tab. Okay. What we did was to insert the merge field that we have already created our data source. You see, so we have inserted the fields. Now let's preview the results and see how the results will look like. This is preview results. Let's see if we have about 5 of them. So 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means that we are going to have 5 letters. Okay, they are all there, and all of them would be seen like this. So when we are done, we just click on what? Finish and merge. When you click on finish and merge, the first thing that comes is what? Edit individual documents. You click on the first one, and then it shows all. Okay, you want to click on all because you want to merge all the 5. So when you click on OK, look at the beautiful work we are seeing. Okay. So have you seen the work? Look at how beautiful it is. We have merged it. So let's see. Let's see whether we have all our letters. You see, the first is what? The head, Apioska Basic School, Apioska Cape Coast. Have you seen it? That is the first letter. Let's look at the second letter. What do you have? Now, the second letter is what? The head, Kwapro MA School, Kwapro Cape Coast. Have you seen it? The content will be the same, but it's only the address that will change. The third one is what? The third one is what? The head Montessori School, Pedu, Cape Coast. You see, that is the third letter. Now let's look at the fourth letter. The head University Primary School, JHS. University of Cape Coast, Cape Coast. Correct. Then the fifth letter is what? The head. Joe Burns Primary School, Abra, Cape Coast. So you see that all our 5 letters. This one, I didn't do any copy and paste 5 times. I had only one main document, and I prepared a data source, and I took you through the process, and finally we merged it. And when we finally merged it, we have our 5 letters, one letter being duplicated but with different addresses. And that is the essence of what? Mail merge. Any question? Any question? You see how simple it is. And just that some of you don't have the laptops, and you can still watch the videos and follow suit. And at least the little we demonstrated here, you should be able to at least follow. Okay, so you go here, you go here, you go here, and then you merge. That's all. You start your mail merge, you finish, and then you insert merge fields. Or you can use the address, the block address. When we tried in the video, you saw that I wanted to try using the block fields, where we have the address block. But the address block did not give us, it gave us all the information on one line, you see, but we want it to be on different line, like you press this. So I did it manually by pressing enter, so that it would come directly under each of them like it's supposed to be vertically, but the address block gave it to us horizontally. That is why I didn't go by the address block. Okay, but you can still go by the address block and do it manually, and then ensure that it is projected vertically. Any question? If we understand, let's give a thumbs up and see how we can use the same idea to prepare the same document on our envelopes. Okay. So can we continue using the envelopes? The envelopes too is simple. So as I said, get your slides beside you, but follow with the Word document, because today's work, I may not project the slides. I've already sent the slides, but we are doing practicals. Okay. So we are also going to open a new document, fresh document, but just as our envelope always looks like, we have to change the document to look like an envelope, before we prepare our source data and we will not prepare a new source data because we already have an existing list. Ideally, if you are sending a letter and you are putting it in an envelope and you want to print the address on the envelope so that after you have printed the letter, you can just put it in the envelope. It's the same address on the letter that you put on the envelope, isn't it? So are we supposed to type new list? No, we use an existing list. Unless you want to edit and add an additional information, maybe the person's contact address on the envelope. Okay, the letter may not have the recipient's address, having the person's number. Usually it is the sender's address who wants to add her number. But on the envelope, I've not seen an envelope that the recipient's address has a mail, an email, and a number. But if it is so, you can do it. Don't know. But basically, we want to just maintain the address we have on the letter on the envelope. So you just go for the existing file. Is that okay? Good. So that means we can open a new Word document, right? So let's open a new Word document. Control what? Do you remember your shortcut keys? Opening new Word document, Control plus what? Hey, Murefi. Control plus N, Control N. Okay. So Control N, what do we do? This one, because we are using the same approach for an envelope, I want you to tell me how you think we can use the same approach to prepare the envelope. So in creating an envelope, you first set up your mailing list. Okay. The mailing list has information that can conveniently be printed at the back of an envelope. That is the idea. But we already have our mailing list. You can use the existing list. Okay. So what you do is to start mail merge like we did, right? So mailings, you start by going to a mailings and then you start mail merge. Okay. You can still click. Some people would start by creating what envelopes, you see, but in order not to be confused, because if you start by creating envelopes, you would think you have started the mail merge and you forget. Okay, at the end of the day, whatever you want to do, you might get confused. So let's forget it and use the same approach as we did with what? Starting mail merge. So we start mail merge, and this time around, we use what? Envelopes. That is the third one. You click on envelopes. You see, as soon as you click on envelopes, the size of the envelope shows. And ideally, you want to use size 10, where we have 1/8 times 9.5 inches, right? So that is what we want to use. Have you seen? It's what? What we have is size 10 for 1/8 times 9.5 meters. And that is exactly what we need. And the envelope will look like this. You see, so when you click on OK, have you seen that the page has changed to look like an envelope? The page has changed to look like an envelope. So after you have started your mail merge and use the envelopes, you go to what? select recipient. But before that, usually we want to type our address, okay, on an envelope. We usually put it at the bottom, somewhere closer to the bottom. Have you realized? So I brought my cursor to the middle, and you will see that there are short dashes. Hmm? Let me see if my page is actually being shared. Is it shared? Are you seeing what I am doing? Hey, that is not shared though. Okay, I've opened a new document and I've not shared that document. That is why you are not responding. This is what I'm doing. I've opened a new document and I didn't share that. Okay, so with what I said, just a million of fun today. I've not done anything. All that I said was opening a new document, and now because I use envelopes, now the shape has become broader, wider, taking the shape of an envelope, this space. And then I just brought my cursor here. And as soon as I brought the cursor here, there are short lines here. That is where the address would be. Okay. Usually an envelope, we don't write it at the top left corner. We put it closer to the bottom right or middle of the envelope. That is where we usually put our address. If you remember, this is our envelope and this is where we usually put our address. A little below, it's not at the top, it's below, more like the middle, but a little down, and it's closer to the right, or even let's say this one is the center, but middle. This is how it's usually supposed to be. So since it is at the center, what do? We go to the select recipient. Now we have started MailMed. We have chosen envelopes, okay, and we have found the right measurement to use. By default, it gives you the size 10, 4 by 1, 8, 9, or 10. That one, it seems you did not see. So let me do it. Let me go back. When I went back, this is Control Z. Ideally, when I open a new page, this is how it looks like. Then I went to start mail pledge. I clicked on what? Okay, I have to do a video for this one too. Hey, as someone. So I'm doing the video for your WhatsApp for the envelopes. It's the same thing. Okay. The only thing is when you click on envelopes, the size of the envelope comes, and by default it is there. So you just click on OK. That is the only thing that changes. So I went to mailings, then I came to what start mail merge, and then I have to click on what envelopes. So when I click on envelope, this is the pop-up menu, and I'm saying that by default the size we need is even the size 10. Have you seen it? For 1/8 by 9.5 inches. Okay, these are the inches. So by default, the size we need is even here. However, if you are going with a bigger or a smaller envelope and you wish to change the sizes, you can change it when you click the down arrow and the size that you want. Maybe you want a smaller envelope, so you want to go by size 9. I don't know how this works, but it looks like the smaller the number, the bigger your envelope is, or the vice versa. I don't know which is which, but we just want to maintain this, the size 10, which you already have. So you click on what? Okay. So when you click on OK, see, it has changed from the normal Word document to a shape like an envelope. See, the Word document has changed to look like landscape, and that is the shape of the. So I'm even taking back the shape of the word. of the is bigger now. So when you are done, I just said you should bring your cursor here, and then you see the grid lines, okay? Because ideally the address should be in the middle, bottom. The address is usually not at the bottom, but at least in the middle. That is where it should be. So you see that the cursor is blinking at the middle. It is no longer blinking at the top here, but it's blinking at the middle. And you can see some grid lines around it. And that is where your address will be shown. So I've sent whatever I explained to on your WhatsApp to go and view. So the next thing to do is to select recipient, just like we did for the letters. So when you click on it, this time around, you are not going to type new list, but you're going to use the existing list. Okay. And what is my existing list? I have address for head teachers. I already have the address. Okay. So when I click on my address for head teachers, that means that this is the existing list I want to use. You see, so it has taken that information that I'm going to use that existing list, which is the address of head teachers. If you want to be sure you pick the right list, let's just assume you want to edit the recipient list. You see, I picked the right address, the address for head teachers, and this is the list I'm looking for. But I have nothing to edit. Okay, so I just close it. I only opened it to be sure that indeed I'm going to use the address of head teacher. That is why I want to edit. But I'm not going to edit anything. So I've closed it. Then quickly I go to what? Insert merge field, or we can this time around let's try the address block. So when I click the address block, a pop-up menu shows. You see, the pop-up menu shows the head, Apioska Basic School, Apioska Cape Coast. So if I don't like the way it is showing here because everything is horizontal. That is why I didn't use what? The block field. But I want to rather use what we did previously, which is the insert merge field, so that I can put the address in a vertical format. So all that I'm saying, if you are not seeing on my screen, I am doing the video and put it on your WhatsApp platform. When you are done, you can take your time and look at it and practice it at your end. The most important is to get the practical knowledge and understand it. When you understand, however the question will be put, whether objective type questions or subjective, maybe be asked to name the steps in mail merge. If you have practiced it, there's no need to memorize the steps. There's no need to memorize the steps because you have practiced. You know that from first step, from going to your mail merge, getting a blank page, going to the you have to go towards start mail merge. From start mail merge, you have to go to select recipients. You have to use either a new list or an existing list. From there, you go to insert merge field. After you've inserted the merge field, then you match fields, or you can just right from there when you want to preview your results to show that everything is okay. You just finish and merge. And these are the 5 steps. That's all. But if you don't practice it like I said you should do, you would memorize and you forget one particular step. But if you practice, you know from here you are moving to this stage, you are moving to this stage, and those are the steps you will need if you are to do it subjective in exams, or if you are to find them in your objectives, you know that this is the second step, this is the third step, or this is the final stage. What is the final stage in mail merging? It's finish and merge. That's the final stage. What is the first step? It's what? Your start mail merge. Is it difficult? It is not difficult at all. So Queen has also sent her own, which she's good to go. Hey, but Queen, what have you sent? I can't see anything. Are you having difficulties, or was that the stage of saving your document? Is that the stage of saving your recipient list, your data source file, the image you have sent on the WhatsApp platform? What do you mean by that?
Sorry, that wasn't it. That was the time I was starting. Sorry, I was sending the other one and this thing.
But are we following?
I am here, yes, I'm following.
So again, all that yeah, all that we have discussed, I've done it in a video form. Okay, so you can take your time and watch them. And there are practical steps by which you can do what? Watch and then also practice there. Okay, so all that we have done is to first do what? Start our mail merge, select our recipients, and then now I am about to do the insert merge field, just like we did in letters. Okay, so I'm going to do that too now. And I'm going to do the video as well for the next step. So as I said, the next step is what? Now we have to insert merge fields. We have already started our mail merge, selected recipient, which we selected an existing list. Do you remember? And to be sure if we selected the right existing list, maybe we have a lot of existing lists. I deliberately went to edit recipient list where we saw that we indeed selected the head teacher's address. So realizing that, okay, I've selected the right existing list I want to use, I just close it. That was just to prove whether I've selected the right addresses, because you may have a lot of existing lists and maybe you have even forgotten the name you saved with. Okay, so when you are done, you insert merge field, and clicking on insert merge field, remember we went by title. You see, as soon as you put them here, the title is here. Then we go back, merge, merge should go by first name. But before that, you have to bring what? Your cursor down. Okay, so that you can insert merge field by go to what? Your first name. Then you click on insert and it comes. Then you use what? You enter, press your enter key so that it goes to the third one. So you do that one by one, kind of, you do that manually, then enter, and you go again, you go to company name, right? You insert, good, and that is all. We had the title, first name, last name, and then the company name. So we can just close this. That one is also downloading on your WhatsApp. So when you are done today, you finish before 11 if there is time. But when you are free, you can take your time and go through the whole videos again, get your laptop and follow suit, and you realize that everything is just perfect. Okay. So this is the this is the back of the envelope where we want to what? Print our addresses there. Unlike other envelopes where we manually use pen to write our addresses, there are certain envelopes you want to print them addresses on top of them. You don't want to do it manually like we used to do. So that is why we need this circulars or the mailings. You can use to print addresses on top of our envelope. So we have it. You see, merge file, the title, first name, last name, and company's name. We can preview results by checking if we would have 5 lists by using this arrow. You click on it, you see that it will go to 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that you are aware that now you are going to have 5 lists. Assuming you do it and you have only 2 lists, it will quickly prompt you to go and check your list again if the number is up to. So since we know that we have been able to preview the results, you can as well check for errors. But for now, I know there are no errors. You see, so there are no errors here. I don't want to waste time. Then I go to what? Finish and merge. When I click on it, remember I have to use what? The edit individual document. Yes, so that you can see before you print. Then I click on OK. So you see, when I finish and merge, this is my big envelope. And the envelope is having these things. This is the time that you can, before you finish and merge, because it's an envelope, you can highlight it, embolden it, Control B. You see, so I should have done that before I even finish and merge. So I'm sending that too. So you realize that when I finish a merge, now I have 5 envelopes with the names there. Sometimes, even at the envelope, before I finish a merge, I can as well, because there are only 5 envelopes, I can use select all, bolding, and even increase the font size. Okay, because it's an envelope, we want our fonts to be bigger. So I can choose 22. Okay, so that on top of the envelope, the writings will not be the same as in the letter where you have 6. But you realize the cape close. So what you do is I have to push this envelope top and probably, yes, and increase. Good. So I can do it this way, and I've bolded it. So I have a big envelope with big writings. So this is my envelope, and I have what? I have 5 addresses on 5 envelopes. So ideally, I should have done this before I finish and merge so that I don't have to come and edit the envelope again like I'm doing now. You see, and I want to bold all of them. Okay. So this thing too, I can push forward. If I had done that earlier, I wouldn't be struggling to do them one by one. That is why it is necessary to do what? Edit whatever you want to edit before you finish and merge. Other than that, you merge and you have to still go back and edit it, which we want to avoid. Okay, any question? We are done with the first two. I'll use 50 minutes to teach the direct. The labels is the same thing. The only difference is whereas the envelope is at the center, the labels, if you want to label an item, you usually put them at the top left corner. So the same writings, but this would show the center like you are seeing here. Hey, I didn't share it. No, no. I have merged these two. But it's surprising. But I've merged and envelopes no. No, 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 I don't. Okay, that is three. Envelopes three. Okay. Hmm. I don't know why I will be working and I'll be working on it. It's I will still be sharing the old documents. Forgive me. I've opened so many tabs. So this is what we did. But all the same, I have shared the video of whatever we've done. So this is what I'm talking about. Look at the size of the envelope. You see that it's even bigger than the normal Word document size. You can use the margins to check. A normal Word document has 1 centimeters left, right, top, and bottom. But the envelope, you can see that the margins are so smaller and they look like a landscape. Have you realized it? So this is our final results. Sorry, I was working on it, but I was sharing a different thing. So let's look at previous results. You see, we have 5 envelopes here. The head, Apioska Basic School, Apioska. There's another envelope. Have you seen it? The head, Kwapro MA. And there's another one, the head, Montessori. You see? And I was trying to shift this one up when I realized that so that the cape coats can come fully. Good. And now we have what? This one to prime university primary. And I'm saying usually all these should be done before you merge fields so that when you merge fields, you don't have to waste another time doing all these corrections, like little corrections. And this one. So that is all for envelopes. And I'm saying that the same proceedings can be used. So your assignment is use the same proceedings for the envelopes, okay, to do the labels. The only difference is whereas the envelopes, we deliberately brought the cursor at the middle here. As soon as you bring the cursor here and click on it, there is this short boxes around it showing that envelopes are usually centered in the middle. But when you start doing your labels, it will be at the top left corner. Okay, so your assignment is use the same proceedings to do the labels. You will see the labels appearing exactly like what I've done here or as the envelopes. However, they would appear here at the top, at the top. And the last thing I want us to do is probably do the directory so that the directory would add more information because remember the directory Apart from your address, it may have your telephone number, your emails, and other means of contacting the person. Okay, so that is the last thing I want us to do before we end the class today. Any question?
Hello, Doc.
Yes, please.
Please, do you have any shortcut that we can be using during the mail merge?
Shortcuts. Hey, you want
Keyboard
another
short,
shortcut? I don't know
keyboard
what kind of
shortcut,
shortcuts you want.
keyboard
Default, by
shortcuts,
default. By default,
keyboard.
when you have an already list, that one is faster. For example, when we finish creating our first list, you see, this one, because it's your first time, it looks very lengthy, but it is not lengthy at all. I can use 5 minutes to create a mail merge when I already have an existing list, like my address. Less than 5 minutes, I should be done because there are only 5 steps. You start mail merge, then you set your fields, you match your fields, then you finish a merge. Finish, and everything counts. But the only point is, before you finish and merge, you don't have to rush. Just ensure that your main document is accurate. The cursor is at the place that you want. If it is letters, you want the address to be. And yes, sir, cursor, no, if it's in the middle of a sentence, your address, imagine your sentence at the being in the middle of the sentence. That is the little problem with mailman. So when you ensure the cursor is placed at the right position where you want the address to be seen, and how the address will be like, for example, when we use, you realize that when we started, I wanted to go by the company where we are addressed to the individuals in the company. So the title, Dr. Mrs., Professor, wine, then the name of the company, the location, and everything, just like the way the mail merge has designed it. Then I realized the school should have start with the head, then the name of the school and the location. So when you in fact create your data source and you don't have any issue with your data source, just a click, you finish. If you like, just give yourself 1 hour, the whole week, only 1 hour. Use it to learn the mail merge and see if doing the same work again, the kind of speed you can use to finish and merge. You realize that the 5 minutes I'm giving is even too much. Some people may go as far as 2 minutes to finish with the mail merge. If you have your data, your main documents, and you are only inserting the addresses, even if it is 100, I will tell you, if you already have your address, 100 addresses already in an existing file, you can just click a click and then it will merge. And then you can see one document having 100 files, 100 pages, if assuming each of them carries, the document is for just one page. A particular document may have about 2 or 3 or even more pages. But the fact is, you would have 100 addresses on all of them without doing copy and paste or cut and paste. It will duplicate itself, and the duplication will come with all the addresses on top of them. And that is the beauty of mail merge. So that is the short way by default. That is the fastest way. I don't know which extra fast you want it to be. So the extra fast would depend on you, your speed, and your understanding about the concepts. Okay, when you understand and you know what you're about, you can finish in less than 2 minutes. But when you rush, you may make mistakes. That is why it is more like, even if you know, you have to take your time and ensure that there are no mistakes. For example, everything was on point, but the spacing. You see, even going back to do the spacing, removing the space after paragraph, and all of these things, I should have done before I merge. So when I finished, I realized that the spaces are too wide. That means each individual document, I have to be removing the spaces from them, which is also another work. So why don't we do that before we finish and merge? So that when we finish and merge, there will be no extra corrections to be made again. Okay. And that is the beauty of it. Any other question? You take your time and go through the videos. I remember level 200. This one we I went to the regular system. So we usually go to the computer lab. At that time, only few had computers. So at least the school had a computer lab where we use the computers. And my boss who taught me, she had the chance to, go through at least those who were able to finish. Some of our colleagues were there to support us where we are missing track. They show us, hey, you have missed this point, you have missed this side. Then we had the opportunity to go through that practical with a supervisor, you see, so that when you are lost, quickly you would be put on track. But here it is virtual. And if we say that because it is virtual, we would only teach theory, it will not help. It will not help. So at least even in my virtual studies, I try to bring at least one practical course so that even though I can't see you, at least you can learn it in your homes. Because apart from this, which is another practical, and there's another practical thing we'll do when we have time. That will be the last topic, Excel and PowerPoint. You see, Excel is practical, PowerPoint is practical. And these things are basic soft skills that you need. Whenever you are applying for a job, if you say you are computer literate, what shows you are computer literate? You are proficient in Microsoft Word, proficient in Excel, proficient in PowerPoint presentations, slides, Prezi. You see, all of these things, if you are proficient in them, then you can, because now we even have higher tools like AI. Using AI, if you are proficient in it, good. And you're able to use it ethically, not the unethical way of copy and pasting for your assignment. No, that one we don't want. But using it ethically, we have a way to go about it. Your voice will be heard. Even when AI assists you to do your assignment, you can clearly see your voice there. But there are certain assignments, you look at it and the person would even write up to the point that you see AI will ask you, if you like, I can give you assignment would include that. If you like, I can give you another version of this. Then you see, yes, Samila, you laugh because you know that you have been doing it. You see, we have all been there. Oh. Sometimes I look at students and I'm like, these students think we have not been students before. We have been there. Unfortunately, during our era, AI was not there. So the way we struggled with assignments, when you go to Google, what you'll be looking for, they will not even give you. You have to struggle, go to the library catalog, then infolate, sad time no. Hey, it's not easy. Now AI, within a click, some of you will not even read the answer. They will just see how many pages, 5 pages, they will copy everything without reading. That is why you can see that from your responses, you also add a version where AI says, if you like, I can also give you an alternative or I'll add this to it. Then you see all of this in your responses. That's just a quick AI call the age man one kind. Yes, uncle, one on can train. Say if you like. So if the lecturer likes, she can give you another. It's so funny, students. We have all been there before. This generation with AI, mama, nyoma, hey. But all the same, they are all looking at what? It's all about your skills. Okay. So please let's appreciate this course so that if nothing at all, and somebody asks you, hey, so how do you see the switch teaching and then the regular stream? You can say that there is not much difference. The regulars are able to go through the practical course And we also at least find a way to go through some practical field, even though it is 4 weeks. But 4 weeks, let's say the 2 weeks air practicals, 2 weeks for theory, sir. At least you should appreciate it. Okay, you should appreciate it. Other than that, I can say that after all it's online, I will take this circular letters out. And where we can do Excel and PowerPoint, I will take them out and then just teach the rest, minute writing and other things. It is also practical, but at least more will be done on the talking. And later you go home and then write your minutes yourself. You go and write your notice yourself and the application letter and your CV, you can prepare it yourself, and that's all. But it will not help you. Okay, it will not help you. And I always want to ensure that you have a feel of the course. Okay, if you have gone for computer classes elsewhere, some of the things you thought you have been taught, but there are other things like mailings. Hey, I I went for computer classes and we did something about Word documents, but we didn't do anything on the mailing stuff. And at least here it has broadened your knowledge. Okay, so even with Word documents, you can duplicate letters without necessarily doing copy and paste by using the mailing stuff. That is nice. There are so many things on the Word document that we don't even use them because we don't have knowledge on them. You see, but at least today we have opened the mailing stuff to see what we can do there. Any other question? We are about to end. Today, because of the network hitches and the prolonged lesson, we couldn't go for break, but at least I want to end 5 minutes or 10 minutes before time so that you can relax for your next lecture. Okay. So just like we did, I'm just going to show you where you, okay, let me do that video rather and then send it to you so that from now till your next lecture you can take deep rest. Okay, other than that you struggle. So I don't want to rush it with you. I want to end the class formally for you to rest for the next lecture while I do a video for the directory, because the directory I want to create a new list so that I can include the telephone numbers as well as what the emails. You realize that the first data source I used, I only ended with company name and maybe address line 1. When you shift using the tab key to the next part, you realize that the data source is very long. It's like Excel. You can't even see the end. It's just like Excel, you don't know the end. So there are so many information, zip code now, state, country code, then, thing. You see, but because of what we are doing, I only pick the few. I can't give information for all of them. There are more than 20 there because I did not use the tab key for you to see the latter part of the information you will need. So because I was basically looking at just the addresses, and these are the 4 things that I wanted to be on my address, and that is all. So the directory, I want to expand the list. Okay. So as I've said, I'll end the class formally, do a video on the directory so that I can include more information on the directory. And as I explained earlier, the directory is more like the information of probably the staff in the organization or the addresses of people that you want to keep in the organization. So, for example, all staff have their directory in a company's system where if you need any information pertaining to a particular staff, you can quickly go for it and then go for that information. So that would include telephone numbers, emails, and other information you can think about. You get it? Staff IDs and all that. And as I explained, it is just like previously where we had a small notebook. We put the person's name, telephone numbers, addresses there, and we call it a diary. In document, we call document process, we call it what a directory. And these are some of the uses of a directory. So you are going to prepare a directory, and that one, because it is the mostly it is the only the source file that we need. It is not like a letter where you need a main document to put the address on it. We are only keeping the source file as a directory in our system, so that when we need the address of anybody in the organization, we can just log